to secure victories?
Always encouraging when we're out there on the field and we get a chance to close the game. Again, each week's going to be so different, so we'll see what happens this week. You know, Chicago, they present a lot of challenges, and we just got to get ready to move on to the next week, but happy that the players got a win.
Coach, go ahead.
Guy that I feel like, I don't know, maybe to me anyway, is flying under the radar a little bit is John Jenkins. You know, he's sort of been an anchor for you in the interior of the line. If you could talk about his contribution so far.
I spent time with John back in 19, I believe, in Miami, and the biggest thing I can say about him is consistency in terms of, and that's what you need from that position, especially when you think about this week going against Chicago. I think they're either 7th or 8th in rushing, and you need somebody in there that's going to be stout, play with his hands, be able to get off the blocks and make tackles, especially against the run game like we're about to see. And for the bulk of his career, again, in the few years I've been with him, we've been together, he's done a good job of that. He's done everything we've asked. He's worked hard in the weight room. He's worked hard in the meeting room. He's worked hard out there on the practice field. And consistency, that's how you get to play that many years in the league, especially at that position.
In addition to John inside, Bilal had a nice game. You know, Adam Butler has been coming on. What have they been doing that's kind of led to this little surge?
I believe it's just putting in the work, working hard, gelling well together. They spend a lot of time on and off the field, and you can see it in practice in terms of the energy level from the whole group. You know, from Jank to Bilal to AB to Tillery, all those guys working hard together. You know, and Max is their leader in terms of being the leader of the defense and the defensive line. You can see them starting really to gel together, working hard together, and getting some results from their hard work.
You talked about those late game plays that have closed the door the last couple of weeks. What is the key to the mindset of a defense to go out knowing they need to make one play and then being able to actually do it?
The biggest thing for defense, we just got to keep them scoring points, less points than offense. So, as it pertains to this week, it's going to be the same plan, and the guys go out there, but they never really blink in terms of their energy level, in terms of just going out there ready to play defense, and they've done a solid job at times, and we're just working like any other defense in the league, just working hard to be good in situational football and try to take away their top players and minimize the points.
Patrick, to your credit, Josh even alluded to it the other day, you have adapted your scheme to your personnel. And I'm curious, to be a successful coach and to be around as long as you have to be able to adjust scheme to personnel. How critical is that, and how did you learn that?
More importantly, learn to listen. Josh is a great mentor, a great leader for us, for me especially, and had been around him for a number of years in the past, and he gave me this opportunity. You just got to be able to listen. And I think most of the good leaders I've been around, they're really good listeners. And whatever adjustments we make throughout schematically or whatever it may be, you got to be able to listen and then just be able to look at it, watch the tape, evaluate, figure out what group you have, and build it around there. But you can't be stubborn. I know that. It's all about evolving throughout the season, less about creation, more about evolving throughout the season, and that comes from listening.
Getting your hands on the ball was a big emphasis in the offseason, preseason training camp, and it's starting to happen. And Trayvon Merritt in particular now has 2 interceptions. It seems like things are starting to slow down for Trey.
You caught me off guard. Your voice, you sound like it's like a TV. It just kind of
like a radio
dude. It was
dude?
good. I was like, it sounded like I was sorry. I didn't mean to do that. We're not different from any other defense in the league, trying to emphasize getting turnovers. When you look at it statistically or in terms of you get turnovers, it leads to wins. So obviously that's going to be a point of emphasis for every defense throughout the league. And I'm just happy that guys are seeing the results of their hard work. Work on it every day, trust in the process, and then you get to see the results on Sunday and Monday or Thursday when we get to that eventually, and that's the main thing. So, but for this week, dealing with Chicago, again, they do such a good job of running the football, and again, we'll see what the situation is at the quarterback position, but they have some explosive players to pass the ball to, so it's going to be a challenge. It's definitely going to be a challenge.
Patrick, I'm sorry, go
Going
ahead.
back to interior defensive line, Bilal Nichols in particular, what are some things that you've noticed in terms of his growth just in your system from last year to now?
Bilal was a productive player before he got here, and he's had success in the league for the bulk of his career. The main thing is just, playing hard like he's always done, and playing with his hands like most interior defensive linemen. That's what you're looking for, and that strain that's required. And again, obviously, as the season goes on, it usually gets better because they haven't really done anything really football-wise for them in the offseason. It's just a different part of the season when you're in the spring training camp. You start to look like real football, and then you get into the first part of the season, they start to get more comfortable. But it all comes from hard work. Whatever he's getting out there on the field, because he earned it, and I couldn't be happier with his work ethic.
You talked about the leadership of Max Crosby, and from a coach's perspective, not only can you rely on him, to go out there and produce and do his job, but the fact that he's kind of an extension of you in a way, in terms of motivation and pulling guys aside. How much easier is that for you as a coach to know that you have somebody of that clout that is willing to play that role as well?
Again, most of these players that are here at this level, they're already motivated, or they wouldn't be here. They made a decision when they were younger to play professional football, and that's what they're doing. And the thing that Max does is by example. Again, whatever he says to him, you have to check with him and them about what he says to him, but it's by example. He's relentless, he's diligent, he's a smart player that makes good decisions on the field, and it's all about, to me, the example he sets in terms of how he plays, how he carries himself in the building. So again, I don't know how much of an extension of me it is. I just know that he was a good football player before I met him. He's a football player that's ascending as he gets older and gets more crafty and understands his craft. And he works hard. That's the main thing.
I know, you're locked into what you do, but do you ever, when you're, watching the tape, kind of have to stop and replay it and say, wow, that was a pretty damn good play right there?
That happens anytime you play an NFL game. These guys are the best in the world. There's only so many thousands or whatever the exact number that can do what they do in the world. So again, always amazed at what a lot of these players in this league can do. You watch the Chicago tape in terms of what the receivers are doing. I mean, there's so much speed out there on the field, the tight end position, they got guys that are dynamic. So anytime you play in an NFL game, you're going to find a moment. I would think when you're dealing with the best in the world at what they do, find moments where you're amazed at what they can do. And I know I can't do it, or couldn't do it, and it never happened.
Patrick, how much solace can you take in the fact that your team really is, it's playing good, your defense, but not close to its best football yet? How exciting is that for you?
It's the early part of the season. It's all about improving each day. Coach talks about it. I hear the players talk about it. We got to improve each day. And this league, again, if you start feeling good about what you did the prior week, that's when complacency is a killer in this league. So each day we're trying to improve. This Tuesday we're trying to improve as we build towards Chicago. Then when we hit the practice field tomorrow, it's about improvement. And that's the main thing you got to do throughout the season. That's the experience I've dealt with in my 15 years in the league, that you got to get better every day. Complacency will kill you.
Last two.
What is it about a meek coach that, the players love him, coaches love him? He's just that personality and the impact he has on the locker room.
First off, the smile. Smile is, be a movie actor if you wanted to. The smile is pretty good there. Good energy. He's always upbeat, and he plays hard. Again, when you play hard, you have a knack for getting the ball. Guys like to be around that. I know for myself, just his energy. Again, I love being around the younger people. They keep me young, Keeps me up on music and different things and stuff like that. But I don't know what he's talking about half the time, but it's good.
Levi and Q, last two.
Justin Fields is doubtful. We'll see how that plays out. But a guy behind him is Tyson Baguette, who you had a lot of experience, not a lot of experience, but you looked at him at the Senior Bowl. You got to game plan against him. What are some things that you liked about his game that you have to look towards?
I thought as we're getting ready for Chicago, obviously we got to take into account everybody. And just watching the tape, I thought, made good decisions in the passing game. Got rid of the ball pretty quickly. Strong arm. Had mobile in the pocket and can make some plays with his feet. But really, really solid young player. And, if it's his chance to get up there and take the opportunity, I'm sure he's going to seize it. And we'll have to be prepared for that.
You were talking about improvement. What did you see from Tyree Wilson as he continues to mature and improve in the league?
It's the same thing for all the defensive linemen in the league. They just improvement in terms of hand placement, pad level. Is everybody though. It's not just Tyree. It's everybody throughout the league. It's just getting used to playing football again and getting your pads down, getting your hands in the right place, and that's what you're looking for in terms of improvement. And then plays will come after that.
Have you been encouraged from what you've seen from him so far?
I've been encouraged from day one in terms of his work ethic. He works hard. He's improving every day, and he's a pleasure to be around.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Is there an artist that we could